You're listening to Jim and Mike Talk. Recording at the, did you say?
7
Studios in beautiful Washington, New Jersey. And now, here are your hosts, Jim and Mike.
Why, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Jim.
And this is Mike.
And we are on show number 11.
Yeah.
And we have a really good show for you today.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Excellent.
Our main topic.
Main event
is our interview with Chuck Negron from Three Dog Night.
Yeah, looking forward to this. It's going to be a great interview, and you listeners are going to enjoy. So, how's it going, Jim?
Good.
We're in about 5 months into COVID-19 here, and things aren't back to normal unless this is the new normal.
I think it's slowing down a little.
But, the music scene, it's hitting people hard. Last night you texted me and said that Amos Lee was on Instagram with a live stream. Yeah, hour-long Thursdays. He does Thursdays.
Oh, yeah.
And it was excellent. It was inspiring. I saw him live along with some other people down in Virginia 2 years ago. But he didn't do a lot of songs that I knew, but he was playing, I think it was the anniversary of Last Stand at the Lodge. Last Days at the Lodge.
Yeah, that's a great album. 2008.
Yeah. And you gave me that CD years ago, and it's stuck in my truck, the CD player, and it broke. And so all I have the options, of using the aux cord or radio or CD, which is Amos Lee, The Last Days at the Lodge from 2008. So that was just really inspiring. I mean, I almost brought the tears last night. It was so good.
And he sounded great. I mean, just guitar, and like he said, it's a different atmosphere to be playing. To nobody. Well, he's playing to people, but they're watching.
Yeah, and you could sense that too. I mean, he was storytelling. He talked about the lodge itself, and he was storytelling and such. But you can tell he was still, like a lot of musicians that I've seen, they're not as energized without their audience, and they're a constant feedback.
Oh yeah,
I could see that. So main event. We got the interview coming up. Later, we're going to be doing the good, the bad, and the guilty.
Yes.
And explain that again: the good, the bad, and the guilty.
It's basically a good song that we really like. Mostly a new song.
We're going with stuff that's months old here.
Yeah, and then the bad is a horrible song that probably shouldn't even have been recorded. Maybe. Then the guilty is, guilty pleasure song.
Song that's I like, you like, but maybe we're a little surprised that you like it.
Yeah, or it's not really a genre we listen to normally, but. So we're going to start with This Day in Music History, and we're on, this is going to be all August 15th, and I'm going to start with August 15th, 1962. We're going all the way back to 62. Lennon and McCartney drove from Liverpool to Skegness to ask Ringo Starr to join the Beatles.
Cool.
And Ringo was playing a residency with Rory Storm and the Hurricanes at Bootlands. I guess that's a club.
Yeah.
And shortly before, Starr had agreed to join King Size Taylor in Hamburg, as Taylor was offering £20 a week.
Wow.
But Lennon and McCartney offered £25 a week.
Just a little.
And Ringo accepted. So it was a matter of £5 that Ringo Starr became the drummer for the Beatles.
Right, you got to really wonder if that was the money or if it was something else that he could see in the opportunity.
Yeah, otherwise he would have been known as the drummer for King Size Taylor.
Which... I'm sorry. Have you heard of? I never heard of King Size Taylor.
I have not.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna continue with this day in music history. 4 years later. During a U.S. tour, the Beatles appeared at the D.C. Stadium in Washington, D.C. to 32,000 fans. Jim, the tickets cost a whopping $3.
Wow.
Let's spend $3 and go see the Beatles. You can't even get a drink at the D.C. Stadium now for that. 5 members of the Ku Klux Klan, led by the Imperial Wizard of Maryland, picketed the concert. So you got the KKK at a Beatles concert picketing outside. You know,
why they were picketing? We don't.
I don't know. You know, they're just too progressive, I think, for the times.
Yeah.
The Beatles, just too.
Or there were a lot of people at the concert, they figured, so they could get their message across.
Right.
It's horrible message across.
Yeah, and possibly maybe the fan base. Maybe it's a pretty broad fan base here in 1966, 54 years ago. You know, and maybe they knew that there would be a mix of races coming to see the concert. Yeah, could be. Oh, what do you got there?
I have a Poland Spring orange mango. I think it's a new one.
Yeah,
I like this sparkling water.
Yeah,
and take a sip here. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, we have sound effects.
Yes, thanks.
Hopefully we don't become too annoying.
What do you got next?
Okay, this is August 15th, 1969. During a North American tour, Led Zeppelin appeared at the Hemisphere Arena in San Antonio. Jethro Tull and Sweet Smoke were also on the bill.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard of Jethro Tull.
Yeah.
During the show, Zeppelin received abuse from the locals due to the length of their hair. So what kind of abuse was this? Probably heckling.
Yeah, I'm like, they really didn't have anything else. I just think about the things that are troubling our times right now in our culture, and like, really, you didn't have anything else to worry about but the length of somebody's hair.
And I guess Jethro Tull were clean cut, maybe.
Oh, okay.
And Sweet Smoke.
Sweet Smoke. I mean, you have to. What year is this again?
1969.
69. Sweet Smoke. They probably had long hair too.
I always imagine, these bands that open for someone who became huge, and they went on to regular jobs.
Right.
But you're in the office one day and you just bring up, I was in this band that opened for Led Zeppelin back in '69, and nobody believes you.
Yeah.
Because maybe you had the band Sweet Smoke, and you didn't even put out an album.
Yeah.
And nobody can find you.
Yeah.
Even on the internet now.
Mm-hmm. But if we find them, we'll get them on here. We'll get them on Jim and Talk.
We'll get Sweet Smoke on here.
Jim and Mike Talk.
Yeah.
I'm jumping ahead to 1981. Diana Ross and Lionel Richie started a 9-week run at number 1 on the U.S. singles chart with Endless Love. It was number 7 in the UK. The song was the title from a film starring the young Brooke Shields.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Brooke was once inspiring to you, Jim,
Yeah,
I remember it. I remember this.
Well, she's close to our age.
Yeah.
And I had written to her. I had written to her probably, it was before the holidays, before Christmas, New Year's, because I received a postcard back.
Wow.
Now, I wrote to her in California, remember? Mm-hmm. Some things you remember, Mm-hmm. And the postcard was postmarked from Hackensack, New Jersey, and that's where she lived with her parents.
Yeah.
I think she was, what year are we talking? She was probably 15, 16,
like
and I was probably 13. I don't know. And I did receive a postcard with her handwriting wishing me a Happy New Year.
Yeah, I remember
But I've
seeing
since lost, that was like my first autograph, and I since lost it.
And you have so many others, and they surround the studio here.
Yeah.
Studio walls, and some really good photos.
Or I'll have to write to Brooke again. And,
and you have to say, of course, you remember me?
Yeah. Okay. Now we're on August 15th, 2008. U.S. record producer Jerry Wexler, who influenced the careers of singers including Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles, and Bob Dylan, died at his home in Sarasota, Florida, at the age of 91. Wexler produced the Aretha Franklin hit Respect, the Wilson Pickett song In the Midnight Hour, and helped Bob Dylan win his first Grammy Award by producing the 1979 album Slow Train Coming.
Mm-hmm.
He also coined the term rhythm and blues.
Wow.
While writing for Billboard magazine in the late 1940s. That's how old Billboard magazine is. So I have a little link to Jerry Wexler in that his son one day came into my print shop. His name is Paul.
They're in Clinton, New Jersey, right?
Yeah, he was getting business cards, and we started talking like I do with a lot of the customers about music, movies sometimes, I'll try and get them in a conversation, little friendly conversation. And Paul told me that his dad was Jerry Wexler.
Wow.
So Paul asked me if I played music or played any instruments, and I told him I played a little guitar. And he actually invited me to his house to jam, and I was really intimidated.
And it was years ago. That was how many? That was a long time ago as well.
It was probably a good 15 years ago, and I can play basic chords and stuff, but here's Paul Wexler, Jerry Wexler's son, inviting me over. And Paul was a producer too. Yeah, he produced the Go-Go's first songs. We Got the Beat when they were a punk band. So
wow, okay. Well, Jim, I'm following us up also with somebody passing August 15th on 2012. So that is just 8 years ago. This is American musician Bob Birch. He died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound in his Los Angeles home at age 56. Birch was badly injured in a car accident in 1995, and since then he struggled with constant headaches, dizziness, vertigo, and severe pain throughout his body. Birch worked with the Doobie Brothers, Bryan Adams, Lionel Richie, George Michael, Eric Clapton, B.B. King, who you know well, Jim, Phil Collins, Keith Emerson, Barry Manilow, and finally Sir Elton John. So passing of Bob Birch just 8 years ago.
Okay, so that wraps it up for this day in music history.
Yeah.
And now we're on to the interview with Chuck Negron.
All right, listeners, here it comes.
Okay. We have a special guest on today's show. He is a legendary singer. He is the co-founder of the band Three Dog Night. Three Dog Night was one of the biggest bands of the late 60s and early 70s and have sold over 90 million albums. They had 3 #1 hits and 21 consecutive Billboard Top 40 hits. So let's welcome to Jim and Mike Talk, Mr. Chuck Negron.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, there you go. Hear you. Hi, Chuck.
Sorry, we had this Pro Tools.
We had the Pro Tools set up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to Jim and Mike Talk, Chuck.
Hey, Chuck. Hi, Amy.
Hi.
So how have you been doing during the quarantine? You've been keeping busy?
Yeah, you're running around the house. I haven't gone out at all. I mean, luckily, I have 2 balconies and a big whatever it is, a loft, not a loft, a deck.
A deck out there.
We have all appliances and everything. So anyway, and my one daughter came over day before yesterday, and the other one a couple of days before that. So but I haven't gotten out. I'm doing a lot of writing, a lot of. I've got a whole set of songs ready to start recording on my Pro Tools.
Oh, okay.
I got a
That's
couple
great.
of guys. Now you can work all over the country. You can work with, anyone you want, in their studio and in my studio. So so I'm getting ready.
Have you heard about the drive-in concerts? Have you thought about?
No.
Yeah, what's that, Jim?
Where they set up a stage in a parking lot, and people pull in with their cars.
So it's like a drive-in theater, but they're driving in, and they got their drinks in their car or whatever they got, food. Yeah.
No, I haven't. I haven't heard of that. So no, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
We don't know if this is going to go on. It could be next year. Everything's been canceled. I figure this year.
Yeah, we've got our tour. The Happy Together tour starts again next May. So,
okay.
So they're already making. The dates are filling up, and we'll all be be doing that next year. So I'm excited. I'm excited about that, and but we've got to wait.
Right.
I mean, this is the time I'm singing. This is the time I'm performing. I perform.
Right. Summertime is concert time.
The whole
exactly.
summer we do 60 dates.
Yeah.
You know, in summer. So that's
Well, I saw like Peter Noon, Herman's Hermits.
yeah.
He's doing a couple of drive-in concerts.
Oh, good for him. He's a
Jim
real
Gaffigan,
worker. He
comedian.
works real hard.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I have to check it out. I haven't heard about it, but I'll check, with the agent to see what's going on.
Yeah. Now you got married was this during the quarantine?
Yeah. Andy and I have been together almost 9 years, and
Okay.
we about almost a year ago, we got engaged, and we were set to get married in March, I guess, in April.
Yeah.
And the quarantine and all the stuff, so everything was canceled. You had to get the
Mhm.
wedding was in Atlanta, big wedding.
Wow. Yeah.
Excuse me, so everything we lost. The big hall, all everything.
Are you still planning the big wedding maybe next year? Or?
We're hoping next year to have the wedding in Atlanta.
Okay.
Oh, good. Chuck, we're going to get into some a little bit of history and then come back to stuff you're doing now. We want to, of course, at the end hear, what you're doing, what you're into, and what, like you just said, the songwriting and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. So let's go to the beginning of your singing career. There, before Three Dog Night, you were in a band called the Rondells. Was this like during high school or something?
Yeah, it was actually started in middle school, but back then it was junior high school.
Yes. Yeah.
It started in junior high, and a bunch of guys together. One of the guys had Eddie Robbins. He had a record that did fairly well on the East Coast, and he had done American Bandstand, and so there was a guy that really had something going on, and it ended up that I ended up singing lead over him. He was the lead singer,
Right.
And the guys in the band decided they wanted me to sing lead, so we continued, and then we ended up putting out some records and working some great the Apollo, and we worked clubs in Harlem. We were so young, we just went in and sang, and then they rushed us out again.
Wow.
So, yeah,
and you go ahead.
Go on, no one.
Yeah. So you took the name Chuck Rondell for a while. You made that your stage name.
So when I was on Columbia Records, when I was in college, I made 3 records. I made a record on a small label called Marlinda, Sharon Lee, and When Love Comes My Way. And then I made another record called I Dream of an Angel. And Columbia Records, I was getting on the charts in Central California, all the way from Santa Barbara to Bakersfield, because it's a regional area. So Columbia got interested, set up an audition, and at that point I was in a band called Chuck Rondell and Sorensen Brothers. Actually, there were 5 brothers. I think there's even more than 5. But in the band there was 4, and then they kept, as one got older, another one came in. There was some solving, and they were, blonde hair, blue eyed, and it was.
Is that with instruments too, or were you guys singing?
No, they all played.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, full blown band, and they sang.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, they had one of the guys had a hit. It was in Pulp Fiction, an instrumental. He played sax. Anyway, I'm so bad with actual facts, but yeah. So we all went up to Columbia Records, and Columbia decided they wanted to sign me and not the other guy. So that was kind of a drag. Wow. But they said go for it. So
that's a tough place to be in, to leave a band and go solo, and where the opportunity is. That's a tough decision.
The record business. That was probably the first time I went, "Ooh, this is hardball." And then, they all say, "Chuck, what are you going to do? You're not going to say no." So I had their blessing, and they were great. They're great. And we're friends to this day. We do shows from time to time.
Okay.
The college we went to, we met in college. We go, do shows. We did a show. We've done 2 benefits already up in Santa Maria for cancer and for the college once. So it's
very cool.
It's been a great relation. Anyway, yeah. When they wanted to know what name we could, actually, I was Chuck Rondell at the time. So
yeah, and that was traveling from the East Coast to the West Coast. You went to the West Coast with the name Chuck Rondell.
To the West Coast. I played basketball, and I played this school was like a training ground for, for kids who had needed to do better on the SATs, for black ball players who really had to get some praise, because back then there were no teams that were all black. Matter of fact, most of the teams, there were only a couple black ball players. It was a different time, 1961.
Yeah. Wow.
A different time. So a lot of these high school All-Americans went through the school and they got their grades up and they went to major universities. Bill Sharman was the guy that recruited me. He was at Cal State LA. That's where I went after Hancock College. I went to Cal State LA, but I left.
Okay.
And the football coach was John Madden.
Oh, wow.
Everybody knows that name.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
And the offensive coordinator, what was his name? He ended up being the coordinator for Dallas when they won the Super Bowl. Offensive coordinator. Anyway, so it was like, this school was amazing.
Yeah, so this is early 60s, and you're saying there's not a lot of black guys on the team. It's mostly...
No, our team was black. Well,
okay.
A lot of black, but I'm just saying, you couldn't get in, the black ball players couldn't get in some of the schools because they only took 1 or 2. So if you had to get your grades up, you had to, and so that's what the school did. I mean, they had tutoring. It was a great, great program. And all these guys went on to major universities. John Dampier went on to play at Miami with Rick Barry, and there's a lot of people said he was a better player than Rick Barry. So
were you a good player? You were a good player.
Yeah, he was an all-city basketball player in New York.
Do you think if you didn't go the route of recording and singing, that you would maybe have gone to the NBA?
No, I would have been. Would have been a really good Division I guard.
Okay.
But beyond that, and these guys, I know you understand. These guys are huge. I mean, these guys, 6'9", 6'10", and they're faster than me. I mean, they're faster than me.
But you were in good shape. I'm sure you were skilled and fast if you didn't have the highest height.
I was very quick. The first 2 steps, that's, you can get anybody with those first. And I was a great shooter, so after I went around you once, you backed off, and people don't mind if you shoot in your jump shots. They just don't want you to go make them look foolish going around them.
Right.
So, so I had a good game. I could dunk. I got up real good. And I loved it. But the time came when Columbia Records said, hey, look, this ball thing is ridiculous. You miss. We want you to rehearse, and you say you got a basketball game. What is that?
Yeah, which both could lead to careers, but a career in singing, a career in the music industry, you gotta jump on that, and you would get the advice to take it. Yeah,
and that's what I did. Alan Stanton he was at one time the president of Columbia, but he was at that time vice president. Called me up and he said, hey, we got people coming here every day. People you wouldn't even believe how talented they are. But for one reason or another, they don't fit. You actually have a deal. You've got people excited about it. And you're not
that
showing
is exciting.
You basically said I was stupid. So he said, you get in here or, it's going to be over. And so I left school.
Yeah. And,
I learned a lot. It was great. And it was a couple of, made some good records there, just not the kind of records I wanted to make. And but God, I learned a lot there.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Three Dog Night.
Sure.
So you guys were one of the biggest bands in the late 60s, mid 70s.
Starting the whole arena scene, the whole large stadium scene, right?
And with and Corey Wells, Danny Hutton. Your hits were Joy to the World, Mama Told Me Not to Come, Shambhala.
Old-fashioned love song. Yeah.
We had 21.
To name a few.
We had 21 top 40 hits in a row. And,
21 top 40. Wow, who else can say that? That's amazing.
7 number 1 records, on the Billboard Cashbox or Record World charts. Adult contemporary or pop, we had 7 number 1s. And
90 million albums.
Wow.
So is that correct?
We had great. What I find fascinating, how it hasn't translated in today with the band being having a big, not having a bigger profile.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it does as far as getting play on classic and oldies stations, but in the conversation of what's going on, Three Dog Night is not mentioned that much. It's just fascinating.
Well, I'm in a couple 70s groups on Facebook.
Yeah,
and every week I see someone posting Three Dog Night.
Yeah,
So it's still, yeah. Now, how did you first meet Corey Wells and Danny Hutton?
Well, I've seen Corey Wells at the Whiskey. He was in the house band.
Okay.
And the Whiskey was the place, man. I mean, it was the hottest. I mean, everyone went there. So I hadn't met him, but then I met Danny. Danny and I sang background on one of Danny Hutton's records. He was very hot at the time. He had just had a top 10 record in L.A. called Roses and Rainbows, a really good record that he wrote, And then the next one, he asked me to sing background. So, we became friends. And, I got a call one day that he'd go over there. I went over there, was Corey, and they went, let's jam. And we sang, and we had a lot of fun. And then they said, look, we're going to start a group. We would like you to be in it. And I went, oh, fantastic. Because, they were really, I was very excited. I mean, these guys are really good. And, to me, it was something, I still, I with all I had done, making records and performing since I was 15, it was always just fun. I never looked at it as making a career out of it, because I was, my love was sports. So when I got into place, oh my God, I got to make a living here. These guys were in that place for a while, so I really
So you were able to follow along with them. Yeah,
I looked up to them. I looked up to them.
They toured with Sonny and Cher. Is that correct? Yeah,
actually, that's the only tour Danny had ever done. I found that out. He never performed live. That he basically was a studio guy, which is he actually helped us on that end. He was ahead of us. So, but that was the only tour he'd ever done. He only did like one song a night. And he was, out for a month. So you really had no experience. But Corey, he was unbelievable on stage. He had worked, live like me. I had worked, I knew the stage. I'd worked years on the stage.
So you were able to learn, from him.
Corey took it to a whole nother level of what a front man is, and he could dance, and he was just really a great showman, a great talent. The best voice I've ever heard. This guy, I've worked with a lot of people. This guy was the best. Right. And so I learned a lot from him. Danny kind of was very awkward on stage in the beginning, but there were three of us, so you didn't have to do very much.
It's not all on you. That actually is helpful.
So Danny found his way, and I found a balance in between the two. Danny didn't do much, so I definitely did more than him. Corey did a lot, so I did less than him. So it didn't look like we were competing. And so we all found our way, and we had this magical thing that the three of us, that was just a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We enjoyed one another. We laughed. We goofed on one another. It was a very playful, fun thing for a long time.
Now, there's three of you, and so you've got the play on words with the three of you. Everybody knows that, along with Three Dog Night. So, can you explain the meaning of Three Dog Night, or how that came about? Because you hear Three Dog Night, and there's three lead singers, so it kind of rings together.
Yeah, well, when the bands first got together, we're throwing names around, and we would pop into clubs just to play, because we didn't. At that point, we had a new band. We had four musicians that were unbelievable: Joe Shermy, Michael Allsip, Jimmy Greenspoon, and Floyd Sneed. And we would go in these places. So we came up with the name Tricycle, which is another thing. Three.
Oh, okay.
6'3" was another one.
6'3", three guys 6 foot tall, right?
Yeah. So anyway, Van Dyke Parks was a friend of ours. You know who Van Dyke is? Van Dyke Parks wrote with Brian Wilson on the Smiley Smile record. He wrote Heroes and Villains, and he wrote a whole bunch of stuff with Brian. He was a great producer. He worked with a lot of people, and he a very sophisticated, educated guy, and he was reading a Mankind magazine. And in the Mankind magazine, he saw an article about this Aborigine tribe, who their term for a very cold night was a three-dog night. And he thought the story was very spiritual in the sense that the dogs saved the men on freezing nights, and the men saved the dogs. Because they slept. It was freezing. You slept with three dogs.
Sharing the body warmth.
It was a freezing night. So he thought that was a very spiritual thing, and something that would be a very good name for us, because the three of us would take care of one another, because on a cold night, whatever. So he gave the article to Danny, and then Danny's girlfriend gave it to the group. So Van Dyke Park came up with it, and we just thought it was a great name, and so boom, we had it.
Yeah, it's a very intriguing name, I think. Instead of just naming, your last names or something.
When people first heard it, like the management director, what does that mean?
But that's good. That's good.
We had to stop announcers. Would always go, the three dog night. We're not the three dog night.
It's a 3 dog night. It is 3 dog night.
3 dog night. Ladies and gentlemen, we go, oh, that ass.
That's one heck of a 3 dog night.
Now you had 12 consecutive gold albums.
Actually, they were platinum, and now they're platinum. I got
quite impressive.
Cool.
We just got a platinum award for 6 records that this went platinum. 6 of the later Three Dog Night records.
But I wanted to ask you, this is in your book. In 1982, you sold, I don't know if you sold all your gold albums.
No more.
Now, have you ever tried to find them, or
don't you care to find them?
Yeah.
No, that's very interesting. No, that's a great question. I really wanted to find them. And all of a sudden, I started getting these messages that this fan had bought 7, this fan had bought, and they all wanted to either give them or sell them to me, get their money back, which, it's reasonable.
Yeah.
And I just decided, I said, you know what? That was a whole part of my life. That's behind me now. I'm clean, I'm sober. I just kind of didn't, I said, I don't want to buy them back. I went, no, thank you. And then my first year of sobriety, the year my family got me 5 of them.
Oh.
And then on each birthday, I got more, and I finally got them all back.
Wow.
You did. Excellent.
They call it the RIAA, the governing body, and the RIAA calls the record company and go, yes, this man, and then they'll make them, you got to buy it. My family had to buy it, and I eventually got them all back, and I have them on my wall.
Okay.
So, very cool.
Because it was representative of the career.
It's your success. I mean, even though it is, your previous life, so to speak.
Yeah.
It really is success.
I mean, the people come in my house, I know about 20 of them on my wall. They take, I have a 2-story. My living room is 2 stories. Because it goes from the first floor to the second floor. And it takes that whole wall.
Chuck, I've never seen one or handled one, so that is special. Hey, let's talk a little bit about some of the songwriting.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had great access to some writers, great, and probably some of them were just starting out, I think, writing.
Sure.
Like Harry Nilsson, Paul Williams, Randy Newman, Hoyt Axton, Elton John, even.
Yeah.
Now, were you able to pick the songs when you were about to record an album? Were you able to pick the songs that fit
the
vocals?
Yeah. How did they come to you, so to speak? How did you have access?
When I was on Columbia, I'll go back. The Rondells, there was a guy in the Rondells who put the band together, Bobbie. Sorry. He knew everything. He knew where the writers were, the Brill Building, 650 Broadway, and that's where we go once or twice a week. I mean, we were 15 years old. We had to take a train downtown, and we stayed. We finally, that's how we got a deal, singing at one of the record companies. And anyway, So I learned very young that song was the key. And
Right.
then it was reinforced when my deal with Columbia was. I started hearing this stuff, and I said, "This is not going to work." And I really offended my producer when I said that. So I said, "Could you set up some meetings with some, Jack Ritchie's doing some really good things with the Ronettes and Phil Spector. Jack Ritchie wrote and arranged for all of the Spector things, not all of them." And then Jack Shannon, who was hot. So I met with them, and we kind of wrote some really good songs Columbia didn't want to do any of it. So when I left Columbia, I knew that the key for Three Dog Night, it would be great songs. So we started out writing together, and it was just taking forever because we just, that process is something that takes some time.
Right. It can go quickly, or it can be laborious, for years writing a song.
Yeah. So especially with three different guys. So I had gone to see Chuck K, who was representing Nielsen and a whole bunch of other people. And I went up and I said, "You have any stuff?" And I told him who I was with. He said, "Oh, guys, those guys are great." He said, "There's a new guy that just had a hit. He's in a movie. Everyone's talking. Harry Nielsen. His album's going to be coming out pretty soon." He said, "Why don't you go listen to it?" And I had the album, and Nielsen, no one knew who Harry was. And I picked one. I said, one's a hit. I also had a Johnny Guitar Watson song that I thought was really, really good. So I brought that to the band. Also, Tim Hardin, I thought was a great, great writer. I brought Don't Make Promises from him. And we ended up, all the songs I brought, we ended up doing. So Corey brought a couple songs. One of them was Randy Newman. I mean, this is just 1968. Randy Newman, I don't think got on the charts until 71, 72.
Yeah, he's known now, but not back then. Yeah.
I'm saying, no one knew him.
Yeah.
No one knew who this guy was. So, we literally found, we were exposed to him. So, so anyway, so that's what it was. And then the next album, I knew Laura Neal from the Bronx, and I really loved her stuff. So I thought Eli's Coming would be great for Corey. So I gave it to him. Easy to Be Hard. It was from the show Hair. I just thought the timing needed to be changed on things. I brought that. And, it was like, and then an Elton song was played for us, Elton John.
Right.
We were, wow, this is good. Who is this guy? And he said, well, listen, this guy, this is his record. He's never had a record release in the United States. And this is,
wow.
But so anyway, when we went to London, we met Elton, and he gave us this album he was working on, which was his first album. We had access to every one of those songs. Your Song and Take Me to Punk. Anyway, so that's we all brought in our songs, and it ended up we had good ears.
Yeah.
So you guys were on a lot of shows back then. I mean, you guys were huge.
Yeah.
And so, but one I saw, you can go on YouTube. Do you ever go back and watch
some of the live performances?
Some of the videos.
Yeah, I saw. I'll click on it on YouTube. So I go, I remember this.
Yeah, but the one was Glenn Campbell, Good Time Hour.
Oh yeah.
You remember that one?
Now that
he was a nice
that wasn't
guy.
Was that live? That wasn't live, was it?
Some of it was live. It's For You was live. The other Joy in the World was live.
Okay, because an old-fashioned love song.
That was the only one that wasn't.
Yeah, because there's a lot of costume.
Yeah. That was made as because they did all this costume changing. We couldn't have done it. We couldn't have done it live. Now that's an interesting story because.
Yeah, what do you think about the costume changes and versus just dressing casual?
The thing we're trying to get a period to. The thing that was interesting was that wasn't released, and I knew that we needed to play a new song from that album. And it either had to be Old-Fashioned Love Song or Never Been to Spain. And that was just my opinion. So Corey just, he didn't want to do, he said, no, they want me to do Mama or one of the other songs. So I said, fine, I won't do one. I want to do Old-Fashioned Love Song. I said, this is the biggest show on TV right now in the summer. It's the only show. There's nothing on. And boom, the next day, that song, people calling. The record company released it immediately. It sold millions just from that Glenn Campbell show. It really was a big.
And you know, media is so different. Back then, I believe when I was growing up, when I finally got a TV, wasn't there like 16 channels or 12? I mean, there's less options, and so more people are going to see you.
Yeah, when it got broader, you could see them milking a cow or something for play the you know what I mean? Or you could see the equestrian hour. Who cares?
Now, John Wayne was on that.
Yes, John Wayne, Mr. Wayne. We ended up coming. He ended up liking us. He's very, very not skeptical, but he didn't give a shit about us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To him, we were just,
some hippies.
They'll be gone in a week. But when he started hearing, when Jay Glenn started going, oh, John, these guys are used. They sell out stadiums. These guys are filthy rich, and blah blah blah. And all of a sudden, the next day, John comes in with pictures of a boat he wants to sell. He said, "Look, I got a boat. You guys interested in a boat? He's trying to sell this boat." So I said, "What?" She shows us pictures. He owns a PT boat, an actual PT boat.
Yeah, an actual one. Yeah.
John Wayne, of course, he wouldn't know that. A PT boat with guns. You know what I mean?
I got a boat I want to sell you. It's not a yacht.
It didn't have guns, but I'm sure there were prisoners on there.
Oh man.
Anyway, so the night we did the show, he was actually drunk. They had to take several takes for him when he even introduced us. He goes, "Ladies and gentlemen," because in his brain it made no sense. Three Dog Night makes no sense.
It's a fun dog night to dog.
3 dogs, And finally, he started laughing, and so the take he got it actually was a big smile. He was kind of laughing, and he said, "Guys, 3 Dog Night." So with his arms on us, and he said, "I got it, guys." So he was,
his arms on, holding on to you.
Yeah, he was fun, although he was a little edgy if you didn't like it. We were doing they were doing a scene. Tim Conway was on the show. Man, one of the funniest men ever.
Oh, yeah.
And this guy was funny. I mean, he what he said was funny. How he walked was funny. I mean, everything about it. So they're doing this Western scene with John Wayne, and John Wayne keeps, like muffing the lines, and Tim makes some reference. I guess the Duke can do anything he wants, But I mean, it wasn't even as bad as that. But he was kidding, and when they did the scene, John was supposed to, hit one of those sugar bottles over Tim's head, and he literally jammed it into his head.
Why?
No, he didn't.
Don't mess around with John Wayne.
He grabbed him, and he cut him.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was. You didn't mess with the Duke.
Yeah. Hey, looking at a couple albums, 3 Dog Night had 2 different albums that were banned, right? You've got It Ain't Easy, where everybody's naked and orange.
Yeah, I think we have a.
Oh yeah, I was looking. Yeah, we got a picture of that here. Color. There you go. There it is.
Yeah.
Does that look familiar?
Yeah.
And remember, this is where everybody's getting their music. You have to buy the album. You're going to get the cover art. So if
the inside art, all the
everything. We miss those days.
Bobbie's girlfriend walks the dog. Anything you want to know. Yeah. So anyway, that cover. That cover was the record company put it out. They just it was banned in all the Target stores like that.
Yeah.
But
whatever the big stores were. Yeah.
So they changed. They changed the cover. But I want to tell you something. They didn't have any apps or any of that stuff back then, so we had to actually paint ourselves. And I don't know whoever got the paint. But it was not like a water paint. It was like grease. I mean, I ruined my shower getting this stuff.
I thought it was Cheetos.
What?
I thought it was Cheeto dust.
Jim just figured you guys were in a giant vat of Cheetos. It's Cheeto orange. It definitely is.
That would have worked.
That would have washed off better.
Oh yeah.
No, this other stuff was ridiculous.
So you're saying it's oil? It's like oil based. It's not water based. And it's all over you.
Yeah, it's
all
all
just
over.
covering.
I can't get it off, and when I do get it off, it's in the tiles of my shower. It's like this. Oh, paint on it.
You probably still see it when you
Plus,
shower.
Joe Sherman's wife, Joe Sherman's the bass player, Joe Sherman's wife, hears that there's a nude girl. The girl in the bubble.
Upper left. Yeah.
The girl in the bubble was loose. So she heard that there was, it's an orgy going on.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
This girl.
Yeah, I see her. Yeah.
So she forced her way in there screaming, at Joe, and a big fight. Yeah, big fight broke out. So anyway, that session was a difficult one.
Oh my!
And the other one was hard labor.
Yeah, there it is. We're trying to figure out what.
And that's like a doll.
I know we're trying to figure out actually what is giving birth. The rest of it's kind of making sense, but what is it that's giving birth?
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. I mean, they could have, this kind of something like a reptile or something. But I don't know why they did that. But the person in the outfit is June Fairchild, Danny's girlfriend. And June was in several movies. She was in Up in Smoke with Cheech and Chong. She was in what was that? Pretty Maze with Rock Hudson. She was in she did I don't know, about 70 movies.
It almost looks like a doll though, like a.
Oh, we thought it was a doll head. So
it is kind of a weird head.
Yeah. But everybody's helping with the delivery except this one person that looks like you in the background there up against the wall.
Yeah.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Jim called it. Jim got it. Yeah. That is you back there.
Yeah. Okay. So, but it's not me. It's it's an identical clone of me body.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And we had the three of us went to Disney. And we got our face back then. The face is made exactly, exactly. Wow. Back then it was a terrible process. You couldn't breathe. It was, oh God. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so we did that. We had our bodies made exactly the size we were, and so we had three dummies. And each dummy did a different thing. Like my dummy, my head shot up 7 feet and spun around. So anyway, so that's the dummy.
Okay.
That's the dummy, and
wow.
Yeah.
So you had them. They were made just for the album cover.
No. They were made they were part of our act. We were into this illusion thing that we wanted to be a part of our act, and we had this made this box that went up on a lift, and the box the light was inside the box. So the three dummies were in the box, and it was a silk screen. So when the lights went on inside in the dark arena, it looked like us behind a screen.
Oh, so cool.
Okay.
Then the screen moved, and the three dummies came out. Now, how it was, we were right on stage and was singing, that, boom! And it went black, and then boom, within a second, we were up there. So it's like, well, how the hell did they do that?
Wow.
So the dummies come out, and Corey's dummy completely, the whole body turned, spun. my dummy, my head shot at 6 feet in the air, and spun around. And Danny, I forget what Danny's dummy did. But anyway, so we did that, and it was, that was one of the things we could do. But
is there video of that? I got to see that.
No, we had no footage. What happened? The first night we're unveiling this whole thing, we're at the Anaheim Convention Center, sold out. Mm-hmm. We do the thing, boom, there's the dummies, the lights come in, and all of a sudden this dummy starts shaking. Look, dummies are having seizures.
It's got to be part of the show, dude. It's got to be part of the show.
A maintenance guy had nailed to be secure, so the thing didn't move. Nailed the thing that came out, the piece.
Yeah.
And so it wouldn't come out. And
so it's just
my head fell off. And it was like, so everyone was so freaked out, we never did it again.
Wow. Just one show with the dummies.
Yeah,
that was it. Yeah. Well, I never heard that story before.
Yeah.
At all.
No, it was.
Yeah.
And we weren't brave enough to try again after that.
But so your management and others were doing that kind of process, right? I mean, your focus was singing. Is that right, Chuck?
No, we did all that. They had nothing.
Oh, you were. So you were in on all that.
No, management.
Okay.
Yeah, management. That's about as creative as diarrhea. No, these guys said nothing artistic. No, that was all us. I mean, we had a lot of stuff. Lot of stuff. I mean, we went to Disney, went to all these different people. We had back then the hologram. We had the processes. We just couldn't get it big enough.
Right.
So we were going to use them. This is 68. So we were ahead of everybody. We had screens where 3 fireballs were coming down. It looked like 3 fireballs, and all of a sudden it was 3 guys, and we came right through the screen. The screen was cut. It came right through the screen, and we were on stage. Wow. So we were into a lot of stuff. No, the management didn't want any of it. It cost money.
Okay, that's really interesting.
Yeah. What are you doing? Yeah.
So 68, 69, 70, this is, again, before people are filling up stadiums, arenas. It's before.
No, the only stadium that anyone had ever done was the Beatles. They did a couple stadiums, but again, it was the Beatles. And, right. Yeah, but no one had done them. And we were starting to do like the Cotton Bowl and play places like that twice a year. And, you can't go into it. You can't do that. It's too much. I mean, you burn out the area. So we just decided, we need to get bigger venues, and they started working on the big ballparks with Concerts West, and it was really hard because they didn't want us in there. The stadiums, the ballparks, the football, they didn't want us in there. Because
it's rock and roll and it's hippies or what?
Yeah, we don't want them on our grass. We don't want them. We don't want them anyway. I mean, in fact,
get off of my grass.
The first show we had, we were in like the visitors' dressing room, in the basement, the Atlanta Braves Stadium, whatever our first show. Yeah. And it was like, what the hell is this? And we were very smart. We realized the way they talked to us and treated us, that they didn't want us there. So we went out of our way, and we talked to one of them and said, let's just show these guys, what pros are.
Yeah.
And we took everything. We were kind, and, when we left, we just heard, these are the nicest guys. We can't believe it. We'd love to have them back. And that happened every.
That's great. That's excellent.
Stadiums, Atlanta Braves. We did almost every stadium. And we won everyone over. And as a matter of fact, Concerts West was trying to sign Led Zeppelin to do it as well. And in one of our shows in Florida, at one of the football fields, I don't know which one it was, we did the show. Led Zeppelin was our guest. And basically, they were there just to see how it worked. And, so on our dime, they got to...
They were learning.
They got to learn. And then basically, we didn't know it then, but it was, our own agent selling us out. We didn't need them on that show. The show was already sold out. And anyway, so it's, it was a great time. We started that whole thing.
Wow.
So recently I discovered a song of yours called Catch Me When I'm Down. Now it's on the live album. Is it live? I don't think it's live, right?
No, it's not live, no.
But was that on any other album, or is that just like a bonus?
No, that's a bonus track.
Okay. Now, did you write that song?
It's a great song. You want to say anything about it?
Yeah, I did it with David Morgan, who's just a great writer. I've written a couple songs with David. Okay. And David is actually now with Three Dog Night. Three Dog Night hired him several years ago to take Corey's place because he's such a great singer.
So here's the Chuck Negron song, Catch Me When I'm Down.
shop. He and his shopping cart had stopped for a warm place to rest and a coffee light. I'm glad to say they gave him for free. He watched me coming in, then he looked and saw my boy. Reached into his shopping cart, handed him a toy. Hey, that's mighty thoughtful, man, how much you want for that? He said, I don't need no money, I'm doing fine, I'm fat. You got no place to sleep tonight, or what you gonna do? He said, if I can stand it, I reckon you can too. Catch me when I'm down. What goes around is surely bound to come around. Catch me when I'm down. Someday when I'm sinking out of sight without a sound, I appreciate the offer, and it's nice that someone cares. Right now my situation isn't all that hard to bear. I mean, I'm warm, I'm not hungry, I am clean and prayer. Catch me when I'm down. Catch me when I'm down. Catch me when I'm down. He went reeling down the street, then he stumbled to his knees. I said, death eating a cracker, man, that's what you look like to me. He said, hey, let me tell you something, had quite a bit to drink, so I don't give a damn what you think. I said, here, buy yourself a sandwich, man, before you up and die. He said, I don't need no chatty, the price is way too high. I may not look my best right now, but man, I'm feeling fine, cause I'm flying high whiskey, then I'll mellow out on wine. I told him drugs and liquor gonna be the death of you. He said, that's not your problem, let me tell you what you do. Catch me when I'm down. Around, sure and bound to come around. Catch me when I'm down. Someday when I'm sinking out of sight without a sound, I may not have much money, but my friend, I got the power. Cause lately I've been flying higher than the Eiffel Tower, and I got enough good whiskey here to keep me flying for hours. Catch me when I'm down. Catch me when I'm down. You catch me when I'm down. Let me tell you something, you know deep down it's true. Even on my hands and knees, I'm just as good as you. Who says you could make me past the thing that I've been through? If you really think there might be something you can do, help me now. Catch me when I'm down. What goes around is surely bound to come around. Catch me when I'm down. Someday when I'm sinking out of sight without a sound, when you got lots of money, everybody is your friend. But the trouble's always waiting, and it's just around the bend. Someday when I'm hurting bad, our paths may cross again. Catch me when I'm down. 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 Catch me when I'm down.
We're back with Chuck Negron.
So, yeah, that's a great song. It's basically David, Dave, that whole imagery and everything. That's just, I mean, it's just really real. And it's, you know what the truth of it is? The thing about it is, you have a homeless person. You have someone whose life has been destroyed by alcohol and drugs, and still, the false pride that, hey, look, you want me to help you? Can I help you? But no, I'm having a good day. But you know what? Catch me when I'm down. He's homeless.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm good today.
The line that gets me is death eating a cracker.
Yeah.
You look like
like
Death
Death
eating a cracker. Did you write that?
Oh, he wrote that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you can't get drier than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, and your latest album was called Generations.
Right, with the girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, that's great. You get to perform with your daughters. And
Mm-hmm.
what age did they start singing? I mean, did you you obviously encouraged?
Well, no, actually, my 26-year-old, she started singing when I would be rehearsing in upstairs, and she would come and just take the mic and start singing.
Oh, okay.
So by the time she was 9, she would come up on the stage and sing with me. And she actually sang at the Hollywood Bowl.
Very cool.
17,000 people.
Wow.
She came and sang with me, and at 10 she recorded David Foster and Alberto Cantica. They produced a record of hers. We did a duet, "Ain't No Mountain High Enough," and that's on one of the records too.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So she wanted to do it from a very young age. Then she went to Cal Art. He had graduated from Cal Art, and so she's been an artist. She does other things too. So she was she was into it at the time, and my other girl was, and she was 13 when we started working on the album. Now she's 19. She's actually at DePaul University in Chicago.
So, the one song is "Be My Baby." Do I Love You? Because it showcases both your daughters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one your daughter who sings "Do I Love You," she kind of has, I thought, like a country kind of twang or little bit. Where your other daughter has such a nice, smooth.
Yeah. Well, she was very.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we did the vocals. She was 14. I mean, so she was just.
Wow.
She was just
I didn't know
growing
that.
up. She was like not. She hadn't really. She was finding herself, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to do it. I wanted them, since they both were interested. I said, I want to show them what Dad does, and we're going to do it together. So it was a family project of what I do, and them learning you got to be on time. You can't just say, we got a 7-hour day. You got to, you can't just say, I'm going home. Just all the stuff. And you got to take breaks. You got to eat. You got to take care of yourself. So we did that project together. It was really, it was great. It was great. I wrote almost all the songs, and it was a ball.
Very cool. Jim and I just got done reading your book. It's Three Dog Nightmare. Right there it is. I just finished it up 2 days ago. And there's so much history. I mean, you really give it all. And this edition is, I believe, the 4th edition, you said, and it's got the ending piece in it, the last quarter of the book.
The publishers, got some people keep contacting us that want to put it out again. So,
right.
But to put it out again, they want, new. So I wrote, I think all together, I wrote over 12 new chapters.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what we see in that, Jim and I were talking, and we really see how over and over again, you're a survivor. And we just ask ourselves, how the heck did you survive this? How did you survive all this? I mean, here we are talking to you live. It's amazing. You attribute it to your faith in God, and that day, 29 years, I believe you've been
29
sober.
coming up.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So going on
September 17th, 1991.
All right, September 17th. Yeah, very good. So yeah, it's just amazing that you've gotten through all that, and it's inspiring. It's inspiring, Chuck.
And,
it's you go on.
And the organization is Cry Help that really was the turning point for you.
Yeah, for me, they all the
and you still work with them.
Yes, not as much as I used to, but now in the quarantine, I can't. But I do. I've done shows for them. They've helped me get people in there who I know that need help, and they've been great. They changed my life. But the thing with them was I've been through all these rehabs, 30 days, 60 days. to go to Pri Help, you had to make a commitment for almost a year, because they had realized that real drug addicts and alcoholics, they can't just clean up and send you back out. They're too indoctrinated in another lifestyle.
Right.
They need to get farther away. Plus the insanity that comes along with losing your right of choice because you're so physically addicted. You have no choice. I mean, you got to.
Your body takes over. Your body's telling you what to do.
No, you're going to want to die. So, then you have the mental obsession that doesn't stop. Hi, blah, 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 all the stuff. So, you really need time to get away from that. And I remember being there 90. And by the way, you couldn't call anybody or reach the outside or even know what was going on out there for 60 days. You couldn't have a visit for 90 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
No one,
So you think that's good? You think that's one of the better?
Well, you know what? When you leave, the wreckage that alcohol and drugs leave behind them, you can't be deal with that. The wife who's divorcing you, the mother who's taking your kids away, all that stuff. That's got to happen. He's going to let not know what's going on, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And you need to take care of yourself. Primarily, what it is we need to teach you how to live, and we know how to do it. And before you can leave there, I'm jumping towards the end, but before you can leave there, you've got to get a job. You have to have enough money in a banking account to get an apartment, someplace to live, and you'll be able to move in and turn on your lights. And once you do that, you're allowed to leave. So when you leave, you have a new life. You've got a job. You've got your own place. You're not this. So it was really amazing program, and their rate of success was so high. Now, of course, with the advent of insurance and all these different companies that utilize recovery houses, they have now 30 and 60-day programs. And people get sober. It's just not what they used to do.
It's not life changing. Yeah, they're sober. I've got a family member, and he has been sober for 13 years. Life's completely changed. He's a new man. It's amazing. And AA is really it's where you meet with honest people, truly speak your mind, and it's his church. It's
without a doubt.
Yeah, and everybody will tell you that it's your church, or it's better than church. Most of them will tell you.
You read Alcoholics Anonymous, the book. It is a spiritual book.
Right.
I mean, it is down spiritual. The 12 and 12 spiritual. They're spiritually based.
Right. All the 12 steps. Yeah. So where can people go and purchase the book?
They can go to chucknegron.com.
Okay.
And also, I have this. We do once a week. We do Three Dog Night Revisited, and we read it. We read a chapter, or at the beginning we read 2, but now the chapters are getting longer. So we read a chapter. I comment on a chapter, tell stories about what we just read, and we start off by taking questions from people from the chapter before. So, and that's you can check on that on chucknegron.com because that's really.
Is that direct from your website, or because I see it on Instagram?
It's on. It's on. I wish I knew the program it's on. What is it? It's on Key Live.
Okay.
How do you spell that? What's
Key Live?
K-E-Y.
K-E-Y, Key Live, yeah.
Okay.
And it's Three Dog Nightmare Revisited. It's a web series.
Yeah.
That sounds really interesting. Excellent.
Yeah, so we're really getting a nice response with that because, I basically tell the stories behind the stories and. Yeah.
And thank you for autographing my book.
Yeah, there it is. Hey, we're almost done. Is there anything that is on your mind, Chuck? That what's coming up next for you, or just any thoughts? Any thoughts of what's happening in the world?
Anything we didn't cover?
Yeah. Or any?
Go on.
Any of your thoughts? Regarding the current culture of today and how rock and roll, how your life, how it fits into it, or just anything at all. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, it's what I guess the biggest thing that is affecting my life is how America is so divided, and how what is going on in our major cities is being allowed to go on. I'm from another generation. There was respect for people, and this is what's going on is to me terrible, and to me what happened. The sadness is it's all politicians. It's all political. They don't care about us at all. They don't care. They don't care about us at all. It's all about causing enough diversion and everything that this election, changes everyone's mind. Anyway, so that bothers me because it just I worry about my kids. I mean, kids are getting hit, beaten up. And my girls one girl's in college in Chicago. So it's So I just musically, I kind of, for me, it's kind of slowed down. Haven't heard anything fresh or new. Yeah. I mean, hip hop and rap and all that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff that they're putting out.
There's a new Bob Dylan album.
But there's nothing. There's nothing new. They're all doing the same stuff. Yeah. The whole structure of writing the songs, they're all the same. They're all the same, and they're using a formula, and that's how how this stuff is done. I haven't heard any great new singers. Look who's here.
Black cat crossed my path.
Just jumped one story down.
No.
There's a big. I have a big. Not a whole story. There's a big
but pretty far down. Wow.
They play. Boom. Yeah. Wow. Anyway, so I'm excited about the studio getting up and writing some of the songs and working with some of these other people, some of the tracks, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, we're glad that you're still active. Glad to see you still doing it.
So am I, and
and maybe we can catch you next year. Things get back to normal.
Yeah, God willing,
maybe we can say hi to you.
We'll say hi to you on the show.
Yeah, that's cool. Easy. I appreciate it, guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Chuck.
Thank you so much.
Chuck Negron in the studio with us. All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Wow. What a great interview.
That was incredible.
Good time with Chuck. I hope that all you listeners really enjoyed that.
He had some really good stories.
Amazing. Jim, it's interesting as I reflect on, speaking with Chuck, doing music with his voice anyway, for 60 years. You know? And, at the end or in the middle there, he was talking about what he's doing, recording, putting out another album with his daughters, still making music today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully.
And his voice still, I saw a video from, I think it was last year. His voice is still good. Right.
And in his presence in interview, it's like he was 20 years younger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We're getting to the good, the bad, and the guilty.
Yes.
Yeah. So you want to start off? You want me to start off?
I can start off.
All right, go ahead. What do you know it's good?
So my good, it's a brand new single. Probably came out maybe, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer. And it's from a band called The Weeks. And it's a song called Bobbie. And this is a band, they are originally from Mississippi, and then they relocated to Nashville. They're a pretty young band, but they have 6 albums out. Get this, they formed in 2006 when they were between 14 and 16 years old. Wow. So this was like a high school band.
Yeah.
And they have a pretty good fan base, I'd say. The members are Kyle Barnes, lead vocals, Samuel Williams, guitar, Kane Barnes, which is Kyle's brother, on drums, and Damian Bone on bass.
Yeah.
Now, what I noticed, this song actually brought me back to like a 70s, and I immediately, when I heard this song, Bobbie, I thought of Thin Lizzy.
Interesting.
And almost, it's hard to, pinpoint but it's like boys are back in town, jailbreak.
So it's guitar oriented and driving. Driving guitar
and like dirty guitar. The guy's voice, Kyle, sounds almost like the lead singer, the original lead singer of Thin Lizzy. What I liked about this too, it starts off with guitar, vocals, and then it has that little stop. It stops and then starts again.
This is where you've got no audio. It's like zero, like space.
Yeah,
right?
It stops with vocals and the music stop at the same time and then starts again. And there's a great guitar solo in this too. And so that's my good. And again, it's the Weeks with Bobbie. And the lyrics are fun lyrics and nothing modern in the lyrics, like no mention of cell phones, texting, or anything. I mean, it starts off with the slick-haired girls with the pretty skirts say, "Let's see whose hands are shaking." And the broad-chest boys from South Detroit said, "Whose money are we taking?" You know, so it's got that Thin Lizzy kind of feel to it.
Yeah, very cool.
So I love this song. I've listened to it probably 10 times. So it's one of those songs you can just listen to over and over, and that's what makes it a good song.
Yeah.
You know, if you hear it for the second time and you don't want to hear it anymore, but this song I could just listen to over and over. So,
Well, very
there
good.
we go. The Weeks.
Very good. Jim, I'm going to stick with also something really new, which, as I talked about, going from 60 years ago, 50 years ago, #1 hits, to something that was written and recorded just 2 months ago.
Okay.
Going with Level of Concern by 21 Pilots.
Okay.
I saw the show with my daughter in D.C. back in Halloween of 2018, and a great show it was. 2 people opened up for him there at the same place, the D.C. arena that I was just talking about.
Okay.
So this is a duo, Tyler Joseph and Josh Dunn. Tyler Joseph, singer-songwriter, guitar, keys, and Josh Dunn on percussion.
So literally 2 people.
Yeah, 2 people, and then they have others playing with them
When they perform live.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the single I chose, this is a single put out just 2 months ago, and it's not on an album. It's not accompanied by an album. So, and the selection I chose actually is the live, remotely done version for the May 23rd Jimmy Fallon show. So great video. Check out Level of Concern by 21 Pilots. The studio is a little bit slightly different. They bring in trumpets and the horns. I think it's trumpet and another horn as well, back and forth. And I just like the live better. They do a great job remotely. He sends his other people playing with him are Simon, Paul, Jesse, and a costumed creature called Ned. Okay. And I asked my daughter about Ned, and she says, "Yeah, it's kind of like the alter ego. Like a lot of Bono had the alter ego.
Oh, okay.
These people have an alter ego.
Okay.
Bowie had several of them.
Yeah.
But so Ned is there playing electric guitar, and we believe it to be the lead singer Tyler Joseph. We've got lyrics. It's about a song about Tyler's writing about his loved one, and he says, "Will you be my little quarantine?" And it's it's written for and during the beginnings of COVID, and just expressing his level of concern and how they can share and support each other.
Nice. Okay, now we're on to the bad. So this song I believe was originally a TikTok 15-second video.
Okay.
Although I couldn't figure it out because the song, the entire song actually came out pretty soon after. It's called Bored in the House. And
that wouldn't be BOARD, right? That would be BORED. Okay.
Yeah, by Tyga and Curtis Roach.
Tyga.
Now, the TikTok video...
Tyga in the house.
Now, the TikTok video has 1 million views. Okay. And this video has 6,765,000 views.
Wow.
Now, this reminded me of something Mike and I back in the late 80s, early 90s. We recorded a rap song. Actually, we recorded 2. But baby, one was, we may release this someday. It was called Yo Yo Baby. Yo Yo Baby. We may release it to the public. But this is a song that Mike and I just, we came up
It's a basement recording all the way.
Yeah, quick lyrics we just wrote off the cuff, and that's what this sounds like. And I'm like confused because now, I'm thinking if we had recorded Yo-Yo Baby, we might actually get on MTV.
Yo-Yo Baby, yo.
But this song is about, of course, the quarantine, and it looks like the video is filmed in their respective houses. So it's probably a $50 budget, I would say. And they were probably bored when they wrote the song.
Bored at home.
Now, there are lyrics to this song, but the big thing is it starts at bored in the house and in the house bored over and over, right? Until they get to the lyrics. These are some comments on YouTube. Jay says the dislikes are the people who aren't bored in the house. Okay. D. Estevez says, fun drinking game. Take a shot every time they say bored. I think you might be dead if you did that. Drowsy says, if this doesn't get Song of the Year, we messed up. So, and the state of the Grammys, I'd say, I hope not. But And then Tamia Gasper says, I guess we can all agree to call this the official quarantine anthem. Now, this is the thing with YouTube. When there's a video and it's, 10, 20 years old, especially 10 years old, I think, people come back and they're like say a video came out in 2010. Yeah. They come back in 2020 and say, who's here in 2020? Yeah. So we got all these 10-year comments already on this video. I'm here to be a part of the comments for the random recommendations of people in 10 years. And then another person says, I'm excited to come back to this in like 10 years and see what's changed. I doubt we're still going to be wearing masks and stuff like that. But
those of us who still are alive, yeah.
So this is the, so like I said, it's bored in the house. I'm in the house bored. I'm bored, then a MFer in the house bored. We got some MFers in there. And then sitting on the couch and I'm going through my Netflix, bored, then a MFer. I ain't even doing, tell her to pull up, make it, shake it like Nesquik. Neck frozen with nowhere to go. And then a swear word again. We try to keep this clean, obviously, the podcast.
Or we have to rate it. This isn't rated, yeah.
And then I won't go through all the lyrics, but tell the BITCH chill like refrigerator doors.
Oh, they're cold. Yeah. They're chill.
The lyrics are pretty bad. So that's my bad. It's a pretty bad. When I saw it on MTV, I'm like, oh, what is this? And why is it being played? That's how bad it was.
All right, Jim, I'm keeping with the TikTok theme because my title of my bad song is TikTok. Okay. So I can we can't play it, so I could even sing you some of it, if you want me to. Don't stop, make it pop, let me speak you that. But it's by Kesha, okay? Yes. Kesha with the $sign, okay? We got, I
think I've heard this song.
Yeah, so she was born Kesha Rose Siebert. But Jim, I first saw Kesha. I was at home off work, and I'm watching Good Morning America, and they had this thing like all summer. They have a celebrity performers on Fridays. Yeah, live. Yeah,
I watched that.
Yeah. So I'm guessing it was a few years back. I would have to guess 4 or 5. Okay. I said I gotta check this out. Well, I didn't like it then, and I don't like it now. Okay. Yeah. So later, I think I saw her on a list of performers that were using autotune, extremely. Extremely. I listened to this song, most of it, and then I tried again yesterday, and I listened to the beginning, and I listened. I actually couldn't get through the whole thing. Don't stop, make it pop, DJ, blow my speakers up. Tonight I'm gonna fight until the sunlight. And TikTok on the clock, and so forth and so forth. That's
not the song about brushing her teeth with Jack Daniels.
It's right here. Yeah, so
that
was
this
one.
Huge song.
Yeah, and how old? It's a relatively new song though, right? Or
no?
Oh, okay.
It could be like 4 or 5.
All right, so
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure which one I actually saw on Good Morning America.
Okay.
But I did endure the whole Good Morning America song because she's performing. I'm watching.
When was
listening.
this? When she was on?
Years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and it's still stuck in here.
Yeah, and I still remember it. And so Kesha's back
still
again.
Bad.
I didn't think she would still be performing and still out there.
Yeah.
But so about brushing your teeth with Jack Daniels, and I'm looking for the lyrics here. And so let's see. Yeah, she's going to stay out all night. And I can't find that right there, but that's what she's doing. So I thought it was a relatively new song, but you're saying it goes back years. It's, so that's what Kesha's doing. And that's it for my bad song. I tried to listen to the whole thing.
Now, Kesha, there was an event since last podcast we talked about Seinfeld.
Yeah.
So Seinfeld was at an event and he's being interviewed, and I think this was live. And so someone's interviewing him, and Kesha sees Seinfeld because she loves Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she goes up to Seinfeld and wants to give him a hug.
Uh-huh.
And he puts his hands up, like, stay away from me. And he didn't know who she was.
Wow.
Like, he thought some fan just, like, got in and was going to grab him. And that, like, made headlines.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah. Here's the lyric. It says, "Before I leave, brush my teeth with a bottle of Jack, because when I leave for the night, I ain't coming back."
Yeah. So next, I have my guilty. And this guy, he's pretty big. He's and I didn't mean to have two bands or people with the same name, but because we had the Weeks, and this is the Weeknd.
Oh.
And it's Weeknd.
You should have done the Weaklings too. You could have done
the
Weaklings and
we
Weeknd.
talk about.
Yeah, but this is Weeknd.
Yeah.
The Weeknd.
And this is called Blinding Lights. And this is a pretty popular song. It's from his 4th album. It went to number 1 in 33 countries. That's how big it is.
Wow.
Now, this song was released in November 2019, and the song is still at number 22. Wow. It's at number 22. I just checked it. The YouTube video has 203,342,000 views.
Wow.
Okay. Now, this is a concept album and concept videos. He's the same character. This is, I think, the second video to come out. And the song has an 80s vibe to it. I don't know if you've heard it.
No, I don't. Not familiar with this one. Just know who he is. Yeah.
And a lot of people compare the keyboard sound to Aha, Take On Me. So it's got that bouncy kind of keyboard.
That's cool.
It's a good flowing song. I don't know if he uses any vocal, distortion. But the video starts off with him with a bloody face, and he's laughing like the Joker.
Yeah.
So he's wandering around the city. I think it's Las Vegas. Casinos, bright lights.
Right.
And he's most likely hallucinating from something. And this is the follow-up to his song Heartless. That one ends where he's kissing a frog, and he looks at his hands, and his hands have warts on them, and it almost looks like frog skin, so something's going on there. But he's wearing a red sports jacket, leather gloves, he's got sunglasses on, and loafers and white socks like Michael Jackson. Now, The Weeknd, he's been compared to Michael Jackson, Prince. I really like his voice. And then the video slips back and forth. He's driving a Mercedes at high speeds. And now someone mentioned on YouTube, they show him walking and smoking, and then he's in the car and he's smoking. They think that he's not really in the car. He's imagining he's driving this Mercedes. I mean, I at first thought maybe he stole the car. Because he gets beat up.
Yeah.
And that's where the blood comes in. Now,
So he's making you think in these videos. He's saying, like, why did he get beat up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this guy is so creative. He put out, I think, there's 5 videos with the same character. He's wearing the same clothes. Now, when he went on Jimmy Kimmel, this was in January, he was wearing the same clothes, He had a bandage on his nose. He had blood on his face.
He's playing
That's
the part.
how he performed.
He's playing the part. Yeah.
Now, I don't
Very
know why
cool.
people didn't notice then, but when he appeared on SNL in March,
Mm-hmm.
people were wondering what was going on with him. And I don't understand how they didn't see the videos. I think there were
and put it together. See that this is a performance art, right? He's doing the performance art along with the musicianship.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So this the Weeknd expressed his appreciation for music of the 1980s. He said, "I've always had an admiration for the era before I was born.
Right.
You can hear it as far back as my first mixtape that the 80s Susie, he mentioned Susie and the Banshees.
Very cool.
The Cocteau Twins played such a huge role in my sound. So this guy, I love that.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, the Cocteau Twins, very, very ethereal, instrumental. Her voice is another instrument, and you can't tell what she's singing. You know, it's very artsy.
Well,
very
the Cocteau
ethereal.
Twins, the lead singer could not speak English. She just put together.
So that's why I couldn't understand what she's saying.
Well, she put together words.
Yeah. Wow.
Just words, and they didn't make sense, but she could say the words.
Sing them beautifully. Yeah.
And he says, sometimes it helps me create a new sound, and sometimes it's just obvious. I'm glad the world's into it now. So I guess, the 80s come back every once in a while, movies, music. But I love this song. I can listen to it. It's kind of dancey, but it's
cool. And the song title again by The Weeknd?
Blinding Lights.
Blinding Lights.
Yes.
All right. Good. Very good. Very good. and Jim, this is exactly why we're doing this. I'm going to go and listen to The Weeknd.
Okay.
And I got something for you.
Okay.
My guilty pleasure. I have Better, song named Better by Abisha Uhi.
Okay.
Not to be confused with Oksana Bayul.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, you had an encounter.
her.
You had an encounter with her.
I touched her butt. We'll talk about that.
Let's talk about that some other time.
Yeah.
Abisha was the lead singer for the band Sick of Sarah. Probably a lot of you don't know. Jim, I think you don't know. It's an all-girl alternative band. I would describe her musically as the product if Billie Joe Armstrong from Green Day had a child with Joan Jett.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's she has a sweet voice. She goes from soft and sweet to screaming it out. Just kind of like Billie Joe Armstrong can do, and Joan Jett.
I'm already interested.
Good. I'm going to give a shout out to my daughter who turned me on to not only 21 Pilots but also Abisha. In fact, I was asking my daughter who she was. It wasn't really text; it was another messenger type. I don't even know how she communicates, but Abisha was on there. They were communicating, so it was pretty cool. This song, some of the lyrics: "Are you okay right now? Do you feel the same? I feel better where you are." And so it's a questioning song, but a questioning love song. Mm-hmm. Some other great, so you can look for Better, the song, but also this is from 2018. So also from Sick of Sarah, before they broke up, a couple great songs are Bittersweet and Giving Up. So Bittersweet, Giving Up, and Better by Sick of Sarah, and then it'll lead you to Abisha Uhi. That's Uhi, U-H-L.
Okay.
So real fresh, just real fresh and in your face, and that's what I like there.
Okay. Now we got one more thing. Thank you. We have our first contest.
Excellent.
In line with Chuck Negron and Three Dog Night, we are giving away, and this is the best we could do. It's
the best of.
The best of Three Dog Night.
Great.
It's a CD, and what you have to do is you have to email us with your name. I guess in the subject line, put Three Dog Night.
Or I want that CD or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm. And you have from August 15th to August 30th. So 15 days to email us. If you email us on the 31st, it's not going to count.
So, Jim, you're going to get these names and you're going to draw randomly?
Yeah, we're going to draw one name.
All right.
And then we will contact you, and you'll have to give us your mailing info, and we will mail the CD to you.
Good. And we can announce your name in the next podcast if you don't want to remain anonymous.
If you don't want us to mention your name, let us know. If you want to use a alias, like some of us do, So this has 20 songs on it, and I'm not going to go through all of them, but all the good ones.
Yeah, they've heard him earlier today on the interview.
Yeah. Ones I like, Out in the Country, I like that one.
Cool.
And Eli's Coming. Liar, I know Mike likes that one. So there's some good songs in here. Well, I guess I should give out our email address before I forget. It's jimandmikepodcast@gmail.com. So that's where you can email us for your chance to win a Best of Three Dog Night CD.
We want to thank Chuck Negron again for giving his time and being on the show. And it was great to see him through Zoom. And you all got to hear him as well.
We had such a fun time interviewing him.
Excellent.
So hopefully you enjoyed today's show.
All right.
Until next time,
stay inspired.
Don't stop breathing.
And don't stop listening.
Today's show was produced and edited by Jim Thatcher. You can find Jim and Mike Talk on iTunes, Spotify, Iheart Radio, Stitcher, and their host site, Podbean.
We'd like to thank Chuck Negron for today's interview and permission to use the song Catch Me When I'm Down. Intro and exit music by the band 99%.